Today, we are continuing to talk about communion, the Lord's Supper, and what it means. What is happening when we take communion? Because there's this question that often comes up when we say that this communion is Jesus' body and blood. Well, we sit and say, well, that's not really Jesus' body and blood. I mean, it doesn't look like him. It's just some bread and wine, right? And this becomes a point of contention between a lot of different Christian denominations, and it's a big question that we might have. And so I brought with me a picture today. It's a painting by the French artist René Magritte. And if I asked you, what is this? You would say, it's a pipe. Something you could, it's like an old smoking pipe that you would sit around and philosophize with it, I guess. I don't know. So you'd say it's a pipe, sure. Well, here across the bottom, the saying says, this is not a pipe. And so you're supposed to wonder, what's he talking about? Of course, that's a pipe. What else would you call it? Or what else could it be? It's a pipe. And the artist's point is, this isn't a pipe, it's a drawing of a pipe. You couldn't actually use this right here, this picture, to smoke. It's not going to work. But it is a pipe. I mean, you can't deny that. So there's this strange conflict of it is a pipe, but it's not. And what does it mean to say that something is or isn't? And that can be a little confusing. But when we read from Matthew, Jesus, the first time he has the Lord's Supper with his disciples, he's very clear. So we read from Matthew chapter 26. This is right before Jesus is taken and arrested to be killed. Now as they were eating, Jesus took the bread, and after blessing it, broke it and gave it to the disciples, and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." So Jesus is very clear. He says, this is my body and this is my blood. Now, he wasn't handing chunks of his flesh to his disciples. He was using bread. So he says, this is my body, but it's not. But if Jesus says that this is his body, we need to take him at his word. And when he says, this is my blood, his blood was shed later at the cross. It wasn't right then, but he says, this is my blood. Now, it does symbolize that, but it's more than symbolic. It really is Jesus' true presence. That's the words we use for it in the Lutheran Church to describe that this is Christ's real presence with us. So although when we take communion during worship service, it may not look like a physical human, we say this is my body and this is my blood, we mean that this is Jesus' very own body and blood. It's his real presence there with us. He is there giving himself for us. Each time we take communion, we see that he is with us, and he has promised to be there when he says, this is my body, this is my blood. Now, that doesn't make us cannibals, because then some people would say, oh, then you're drinking blood, it's gross, and it sounds strange, and it is. It's paradoxical. We can't truly understand all of it, but we can take Jesus at his word. When he says, this is my body, this is my blood, he means it. And when he says it's given for us for forgiveness, that's also very true, that this is for our forgiveness. And we can take him at his word on that as well. Let's pray. Father, thank you for sending your Son, Jesus, to die on the cross for us, for our forgiveness. Thank you that he gave his body and his blood for us. When we have questions, Lord, help us to turn to you, to turn to your word, and to trust, to have faith in what you say. Although it doesn't always make sense and it can be confusing, we know, Lord, that you are God and that you know all and understand all. And so we trust and believe in you. Amen. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. You may subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the icon or watch similar videos by clicking on the link.